I'm Bethany Anderson of Bethany Heals, and if life's been lifing lately, then you found me just in time. This is a pause, a permission slip to just be. And before we begin, let me remind you, your healing isn't on a timeline. Around here, we don't hustle our healing, we honor it. Trust that your intuition brought you here for a reason. So let's drop into our next archive episode. Hello, my amazing soul seekers. Welcome to archive episode number 3. Have you ever up-leveled so hard that you completely overhauled your entire life? So I may have accidentally just done that. And I want to share with you something that I'm going through in present time because, healing and following your intuition can feel so brave and inspiring and courageous and also really terrifying and painful and confusing. You see, I've shared a little bit about my move up here to Washington. And a big part of making this decision was, yes, following my intuition and just knowing that there was a reason why I needed to be here. But on the flip side of that coin, I also knew that there was a possibility that this could deeply affect the relationship with my partner that I've been with for going on 4.5 years. I knew that this relationship that has been filled with so much love and adventure and joy and deep, deep care could possibly end if my partner couldn't go along for the ride. I knew that, and I did it anyways. I moved up here. And for a time, the long distance, we made it work. I think it kind of brought a little bit of a different spark back into our relationship. But there's always been this underlying current where I have a tendency to lean into the essence of transformation, probably more than most people feel comfortable doing. I am always challenging myself to grow and to change and to step into really unfamiliar, unknown territory because I like it. I love challenging myself in that way because that just means I'm one step closer to mastering whatever it is that I'm trying to experience. I want to be in it. I want to learn. I'm always trying to learn and to grow. And my partner, who challenges himself in his own ways, doesn't necessarily ride that same trajectory and path that I do. And when you have one partner that's growing and evolving and moving down a different path, it can be hard for that other person to keep up, especially if they don't want the same things or they don't know what they want. And that kind of all came to a head. This weekend, my partner came up because we made a plan to see each other once a month. And we had a really in-depth conversation. We had just finished a beautiful hike. We went to Lake 22. It was absolutely stunning. And it was such a nice day. And as we were walking down the mountain, something in me just said, is there anything that you want to share, that you want to talk about? And I said that because I know that it's a lot easier to have some tough conversations when we're face to face. And I don't think I necessarily knew the can of worms that I was opening. It just kind of slipped from my mouth. But obviously, it needed to happen because we ended up having a really serious conversation about our future and realizing that where I'm headed, he is not ready and is unsure if he wants to go in that direction with me. And it was a very heartbreaking conversation. It was very sad. You know, you have two people that love each other deeply and care about each other so much. There was no yelling, there was no anger. It was just an honest conversation. And I dropped him off at the airport and I woke up this morning and I just started crying because I knew. I knew that this was it. That this was probably the last time that I'm going to see him. And that hurts. It really hurts. And I think the only way that I can explain how trusting your intuition isn't always pretty is knowing that you have to do something really, really hard sometimes. But you trust yourself enough to do it anyways. And my intuition has always led me to it exactly where I need to be. And so I don't question it. Even if it feels challenging and hard and difficult, you cannot question it. Because there is this innate wisdom within you that just knows that there's something more for you, that there is something else unfolding. And I was talking to my best friends today, and they're like, what do you think you're learning from all of this? And I said, you know what? I'll let you know in a year. I may not see it now, but I'm sure I'll see it then. And I think back to the past 4.5 years with this amazing being who taught me so much about love, but more so taught me so much about what I actually deserve and what I actually do want in a romantic relationship. I thought I knew. Little did I know there was much more that I needed to see and to understand. So no, I don't regret this relationship. In fact, I'm so grateful for it because it gave me the strength and the confidence to speak my truth and to prioritize my needs and my wants. And I think at the end of the day, all that we can ask of ourselves is to prioritize ourselves, even if it feels selfish. Because what's happening right now is I'm shifting timelines. I am shifting everything with this one decision. Do you know how many doors that's going to open? How many windows? How many new roads are going to unfold before me? Because I'm making room for something more. Because I'm making room for something that's truly aligned and that's really meant for me. And I think that what makes this whole decision and leaping into this trust fall with source, creator, God, whatever you want to call it. What makes it challenging and hard is that my partner isn't a bad person. He's actually such a talented, creative, kind, gentle, nurturing, deep human being. And to walk away from a good person, knowing that there's something more, I think is the most courageous thing that I can do for myself. So I want to share with you the practice that led me to this decision, to listening to my intuition, my inner wisdom. This morning, I sat with myself. I set aside 30 minutes of my morning and I grounded. I have some beautiful free meditations on my site. Actually, if you subscribe to my newsletter, I have a free 3-part ritual guide called The Morning Moment, a beautiful way to step into your intuitive space to start your day. Definitely recommend. I'll link that below to join us in my newsletter, The Devotion. But what I did was that morning moment. I sat down with myself. I closed my eyes. I grounded. I started to release and let go of the effort of trying to make this work, of trying to find another way, of trying to accommodate. I let go of that effort of trying. I let go of the resistance to change, the resistance that was keeping me holding on and grasping with white knuckles. I let go of the resistance to letting go of something that was comfortable. I cleared out that effort and I cleared out that resistance and I got into my sanctuary space right in the center of my head and I said, "Hey, Bethany, I trust you. I'm here. What do you have to say?" And I looked at the energy of my intention, which was to have clarity, to get my next step. And my higher self, that calm, centered Bethany, said, "It's over. It's time to end it. It's time to let it go. There's something else in store for you. This is your next step." And I just cried. I cried and I cried because I knew. I knew. And I reset my space. I replenished my energy. I opened my eyes. And I made that decision. So a lot of the times when we're trying to find clarity, when we're seeking direction for that next step, it's not always some outlandish, extravagant 15-step process that you need to do. It really is the invitation to come back to yourself, to take a moment to just pause and to listen. Ask the questions and notice what comes up for you. And I feel like this experience is such a culmination of my program Elixir. You know, I just moved through this beautiful transformational journey with a group of women who wanted to come back to themselves, who wanted to gather that confidence and that connection with their higher self and the relationship to abundance and what's possible for them. We spent 8 weeks digging deep, doing this work. And the transformations that happened were unbelievable, truly life-changing. And these women, they say that I inspire them, but honestly, they inspired me. This work continues to surprise me every single day. I think that I'm doing this work and sharing it for others, but I also think that this work is helping me. We're constantly growing, we're constantly evolving, we're constantly changing. Who are you taking with you? And what are you ready to let go of to really receive what's aligned and meant for you? So I hope that whoever needed to hear this, it resonates for you. As always, take what resonates, leave the rest. But just know I am walking through this life, this wild muggle life, just like you. And life be lifing sometimes. It is what it is. But that doesn't mean that you need to give up, or that you need to stop, or that you need to sacrifice yourself. There is another way. Are you willing to take the leap? So I'm so excited for this coming first season of Life Be Lifing. I have some amazing guests lined up, all just some powerful baddies. It's such an amazing lineup of just really powerful, inspiring, creative, talented women. So I'm just so excited to be in this season with each of you. And I can't wait for you to join us in my next episode.